Bim, guess what? We're live. It is Friday. It is. What a week that was. And what a week it's been as well. Personally, it's been good in the fact that I have, on the YouTube channel, actually got 2,000 subscribers for the first time ever. Obviously, it goes up and down a little bit once you get there. But, yep, it's been a pretty good week in that respect. So, yeah, 2,000 subscribers, I wish, is pretty damn good in my humble opinion. But it's not all about me. It's not all about me. No, it's not now. No, definitely not now. We're going to start off with the World Health Organization. Who? I hear you ask. Yes, I reply. And they have declared monkeypox as a global health emergency. Now, it's quite easy to treat, apparently. We've already got the vaccines for it. Basically, the smallpox vaccine will sort you out if you don't want to catch monkeypox. And there are quite a few ones knocking around that you can buy as a government. So governments have been buying hundreds of thousands here, there and everywhere. At the moment, it's mainly affecting homosexuals and promiscuous people because it's easily transmitted via rumpy-pumpy. So yeah, if you're into that kind of thing, it's probably worth just getting checked out, or at least checking out whom you're checking in with, if you get me drift. Even I didn't get me drift then, that was a bit too vague even for me. Nobody knows it, but I've got the sweetest smile. Anyway, Russia. Oh, we love Russia. They signed an agreement. They signed an agreement with Ukraine in order to allow shipments of a grain to leave the Odessa docks and basically stop people starving around the world, which is a good thing. Unfortunately, what they've done is, hello Angela O'Kane, hope you're well. Russia have started bombing Odessa. Good evening, Smiley Mac. So all in all, Russia, it would appear, are not to be trusted. Who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought Russia couldn't be trusted? Although we do trust them currently in the space station. We've got Russian components, we've got Russian cosmonauts, we've got the Russian ground control and all that. I'm fine, thank you. All looking after the space station, but now Russia have said we're pulling out the space station in 2024. We're going to leave it to you guys, and what we're going to do is we're going to make our own space station. Now, we all remember how Soyuz went, so yeah, into the Pacific Sea a few years later. So I'm not really giving out much hope of anything coming from that, but anyway, we will, like I said, we will wait and see. Now, if you want to go on holiday, it's probably a good idea to go to Liverpool Airport, because that seems to be the only place where you can actually get on a plane and fly away fairly easily. Even at the weekend, Felixstowe, and in this case Dover, had a huge amount of queues because people were all trying to get away at the same time, and everyone was blaming everyone else. Dover was blaming the French for not sending enough people to check the passports. I mean, I thought even though we were in the EU and free movement and all that kind of thing, you would still have to have a passport or some documents checked, because you are entering an area where, if you were a terrorist, you could cause massive disruption. So I always assumed that that would be the case. I mean, obviously, when you go over to the Irish border in Northern Ireland to Southern Ireland, or if you go from Wales to Scotland, or even Germany to Spain or whatever, you're just driving a car, so that's freedom of movement. But when you're getting into a confined space, be it an aeroplane, a ship, or a train, one would have thought that they'd have to check anyway, but maybe not. Hi Kim, hope you're good too. So yeah, there was massive queues, and things have been going horribly wrong in Dover and in old Felixstowe. I forgot what it was called then. It's alright, come back to me, don't worry. 20-hour waits some people were having. I mean, that's worse than the M6 on a Friday at 2 o'clock. Anyway, I don't know. It's not as bad as the M25, though, I'll be honest with you. On some interesting Ukraine-related news, the United Kingdom has volunteered itself to host the Eurovision Song Contest. Now, this means so much to me, you wouldn't believe it. Yeah, because Sam Ryder, God, he's annoying. I said at the time, he'd be one of these people who we get really, really fed up with really, really quickly. For me, it was the 2 minutes of him singing the song. But he's also murdered the national anthem at the British Grand Prix, and he pops up on different shows, including Gogglebox. I mean, the guy is just annoying. Anyway, because he comes second, we are getting to host the Eurovision, but we're doing it on behalf of Ukraine. So I can imagine a set that is basically going to be blue and yellow and never change all the way through it, because we have to, even though it's in England, we have to say that we are doing it for Ukraine, which is nice. That's nice. Someone doing it for someone else is a guy I'd never even heard of. Paddy Pimbley, a UFC fighter. He's a bit of a nutter in his own words. He says that. I'm a bit mad. No one's like me. He's a Scouser. He won a fight. I had a friend come round. I do have a friend, and he come round and he let me watch the UFC fighting with him, which was nice because I love watching fighting and boxing and football and cricket and golf and all the other crap sports that we're getting hammered with at the minute. Anyway, this guy, never heard of him before. He won his fight, and then he did a little speech thing, and he said something which has actually made the news. I can't remember the last time anything UFC made the news. It was in London, which is unusual in itself for UFC. And he basically said that one of his mates had committed suicide, and he was gutted, and so he dedicated the win to him, and he didn't realise that his mate was in that kind of situation. And then he said, all men feel like this occasionally, and we have to talk to people. We don't hold it inside yourselves. And he's right. I've been there. I've done that. As you know, regular viewers, I ended up on a motorway bridge a few years ago because everything just got on top of me and there was no one to discuss it with. I don't know whether I wouldn't have ended up there anyway if I discussed it, but surely it's more important for men to discuss things with other men or with wives, spouses, partners, parents, mates, even your pet. Just get it off your chest, whatever it is that's bothering you. And well done, Paddy, for bringing it up. What a decent guy. And a Scouser as well. I mean, I watched the telly. I watched him on the telly, and when it finished, I still had a telly. I hadn't nicked it. Bit of sad news if you're into politics, particularly Northern Ireland politics. This guy here, Lord David Trimble, has died. He won the Nobel Peace Prize. He was part of the signage and the master plan of the Northern Ireland Agreement, which is still being discussed now because of Brexit and all that kind of stuff. And he was one of the people who basically helped stop all the murders, the bombs going off. Even in the UK, bombs were going off, people were getting shot. Sorted it out, did a good job. Sadly passed away this week. Here's the thing I didn't realise as well. I've never been to Croatia, never been out of the UK, I'll be honest with you. Well, I have. I've been to Dublin, but that doesn't really count. Croatia, where's it gone? Where's the picture gone? I had a picture of it. It's gone. Where's the picture gone? Well, come back to that one. So, in the meantime, let's go to rail strikes. Oh no, there it is. I've got it. There it is. Croatia is split. And in order to get from one part of Croatia to another part of Croatia, you have to drive through another country or fly or whatever. But it's the same country. I suppose it's, in a way, it's a bit like Alaska and America in the fact that it's part of the same country, but you can't get to it from the mainland. You have to, find other alternative ways, be it go through Canada or get a boat or a plane to get to Alaska. In fact, Alaska is nearer Russia than it is America. Croatia isn't quite that bad, but they've opened this bridge this week, and this bridge is 2 and something kilometres long, and it links Croatia with Croatia for the first time ever, which I think is brilliant, which means they don't have to go through, is it Belarus or somewhere equally horrible. So now you can actually go and visit your friends and relatives in a very short drive whenever you want. And you don't have to get your passport out or anything. You just get on there and drive over and mosey on over. A lot of it was paid by the UN as well, which again is a nice thing to do. What to do? I don't know. I've never been to the UK. There you go then. You miss nothing. We've had rail strikes. Again, we've got more rail strikes tomorrow as well. RMT and ASLEF and all the other ones are just absolutely annihilating rail travel, which I'm kind of in agreement that they shouldn't be able to do this. I mean, they're not on bad wages. One of my mates left the police force to become a train driver because it was more money and less hours and less risk. They are not poor people, so to complain about wage rises I think is a bit hypocritical. We've also got Arriva buses on strike in the northwest, particularly Liverpool area, and they've been on strike now for nearly a week, continuous strike as well. And again, it's affected many people's lives. Old people who need to get to the shops, who live in, not rural areas, but areas where there's no shops nearby because they've all shut because of the supermarkets. How are they going to get the shopping? They don't have the internet necessarily to order it online. How are they going to see their friends? How are they going to get to the bingo? Trains, how are you going to get to work if you work in a different town or city? It's just very selfish of people who are in a trade where you are dealing with the public and helping the public to get on with their lives, and you completely mess it up. I find it infuriating, annoying. Not as annoying as Russia. Oddly, I find Russia annoying. I've not put Russia together today. I've separated them out because there's that much Russia stuff. It's annoying. The Nord Stream, which is the new gas supply route to Europe, has now been reduced by Russia to, allegedly 15% of its capacity. It's never run 100% of its capacity, but it's down to about 15%, which is causing massive issues. And in some parts of Europe, they are not lighting public buildings anymore. At night time, obviously, and if you go to the baths or a sports centre or whatever that's government run in certain countries, the showers are all cold. You can't have a hot shower. That's meant to be good for you. I keep thinking I'm going to have a cold shower thing on my vlog and see if it gets rid of my tummy. But yeah, they're doing it for trying to save gas, because obviously a lot of their power stations run on gas. Someone called it weaponising fuel, which is what Russia have done. I mean, can you imagine Russia doing something like that? Because I can, yeah, obviously. Anyway, there was going to be Nord Stream 2, but Europe have said we don't want that. We'll just keep the first one. And that's roughly where we're at. Not good. Gas prices are going up. One thing I've always thought, though, and not long before Russia invaded Ukraine, long before prices went up, bearing in mind we've got, the world going a bit wrong because of global warming, we've got all these supermarkets and shopping out of town shopping malls and places like that when they are closed still have massive lights on everywhere, lighting up saying, this is Currys, this is, Pets at Home, this is whatever. They should be off at night, full stop. And that's, the little thing that could help probably save, maybe, I don't know, in the course of a year in Britain, a couple of cubic meters of carbon dioxide going into the atmosphere, but every little helps. As I've said before, doesn't matter what Britain does, we could turn all our gas stations off, ban coal, ban gas, and live off God knows what, magic power, and it wouldn't affect global warming in the slightest. We are not the issue. It's China and America that are the issues for that kind of thing. We need to put pressure on them, but sometimes you have to be careful, don't you? when you put too much pressure on people. For example, the young lady in the red there was holding a debate on Talk TV. No, me neither. And for the Sun newspaper, basically saying, or basically chatting to Rishi Sunak, who's on the left, and Liz Truss, as I call them, Rishi Rich and Dizzy Lizzy, and Liz Truss could win this. And I mean, I don't like Rishi particularly, but at least he can stand up to people, whereas she just looks like, I don't know, like one of them little girls who's outside the headmaster's office, principal's office, being told off for something. Anyway, they're having a debate, and sadly, she's okay, but the young lady who's doing the hosting of it fainted whilst Dizzy Lizzy was on screen. So that was her reaction. Like I say, thankfully, the young lady was okay, and she even said she could carry on afterwards, but they decided not to. There was an audience there, so Rishi and Lizzie went up and had a chat with the audience directly. Someone who's probably not going to mix with the general population for a while is Mrs. Vardy from the Agatha Christie case. She's had her entire everything completely thrown out, her appeal, the lot. Basically, she's been proven to be a liar, a scumbag, and an attention seeker. Well, never mind. There's more important things in life, he says. Like me caring, which I don't. Who cares about stuff like that? It's the main news today on the news. It's ridiculous. There's an early warning for drought in the UK, and in fact, it's been upgraded to immediately hosepipe ban in the Isle of Man, and starting next Friday, in typical Boris fashion, there's an emergency, but we're not going to do anything for a week. Hosepipe ban in southern parts of the United Kingdom, including the Isle of Wight. So the Isle of Man and the Isle of Wight will both have hosepipe bans, and it's going to be like the southern coast, Kent, that kind of area as well, which are having hosepipe bans, but they're not coming in until, believe it or not, a week today, because obviously the drought doesn't really matter until then. No. We had some sad news yesterday as well, which is that Bernard Cribbins has passed away. Now, Bernard Cribbins, he was 93, was the voice of my childhood. I remember him doing the Wombles. If you're not from the UK, you'll be thinking, what the hell are the Wombles? They were massive. They had a kids' TV show on the BBC. They had a little theme tune which basically went, underground, overground, wombling free. The Wombles of Wimbledon coming are we? And they basically recycled. This was in the 1970s. They would find stuff that people had thrown away and recycle it. So their den and where they lived underground, for doors, they had like the odd car door, and they had all the furniture was made of rubbish and stuff like that. And it was like proper recycling. There was no, obviously it was puppets, so there was no actors. Bernard Cribbins did the voice for it all and everything. He also, more recently, and probably his last major role that people will remember him for, was a companion in Doctor Who, which was the more recent series of Doctor Who. And I always thought they missed out here, although I don't know whether his character died or not. I don't think his character did die. He was also in Doctor Who in the 1960s as well, in the film, which wasn't, I suppose, part of the canon, which might be why they didn't reference it, which was Day of the Daleks Planet of the Daleks 2015. Jesus Christ, the Wombles are horrific looking, like the hills have eyes, creepy. You know what's creepier about them as well? I'll go back to that. When they talked, obviously it was 1970s, so we didn't have animation or anything. When they talked, the snouts kind of went up and down like that when they were talking. So you had this little full thing where our nose is, and it was weird.